Hello and welcome. Here today with the Acer Predator Helios 18 for 2023. This is a new 18-inch laptop, gaming laptop from Acer this year. This guy features the i9-13900HX 24-core 32-thread CPU, very popular amongst the highest-end laptops this year. It also has an RTX 4080 12GB, capable up to 165 watts. We'll test how true that is. And it also features a TrueHDR 1000 nits mini LED display. That's been the highlight feature of this laptop. It's been months in the waiting. Now I finally have it in my hands. I'll be doing a review very shortly, but I wanted to introduce you to this laptop with some gameplay on Starfield, which just released just a few days ago. It's a very popular game. I've been awaiting this game from Bethesda for a year and then some. It's been launched by Microsoft as a publisher, and I would have to say that out of the gate, this is one of the games that I've been fairly impressed with. Very few bugs. There's no big patches on day one. It seems to just get in and work. No server issues or connection issues as well. So I'm very happy and pleased with this thus far. Finally, a AAA game that's worthy of the AAA title, and the release process has been pretty smooth. So let's jump in here. We'll look at some of the stats and see how the gameplay looks. I'll demonstrate on a few different performance levels. We'll talk about the AMD support and lack of DLSS and NVIDIA support, considering that this is an NVIDIA GPU here, and we'll look at what the performance overall looks like. And stay tuned for and subscribe to my channel for the full review on the Acer Predator Helios 18 coming up very soon. So let's jump right in here, and I'm in here in Starfield. I'm on the Science Outpost here, and just kind of walking and running around. Let's get our stats up, and let's see, here we are. Okay, I don't know what happens there. That was an interesting dynamic. Alright, so here we are. Okay, stop squatting. Alright, so as you can see here, we're running at about 135 watts here. We're getting about mid 40s to high-ish 40s, sometimes touching 50 FPS of performance. Let's take a look at our settings here. And if we look at the display, so I'm running here on the high preset. We'll start with Ultra. So if we start with Ultra here, everything gets turned on by default. And if we look at the upscaling support here, this game only supports, as of now, AMD FSR2. So there's no DLSS 3 support whatsoever, nor ZSS if you happen to be an Intel fan. So that means with FSR2 turned on, we're going to turn this off because of course we've got an NVIDIA GPU here. We'll first demonstrate the raw performance. This is a Quad HD Plus 2560 by 1600 resolution. And if we run around, we get anywhere between 40 to 50 FPS depending on what's happening on the screen. The most important thing to note is that our frame time graph looks pretty stable, a little high in terms of the numbers, 20, sometimes, the high teens. I would like it to be into the low teens, or perhaps even, whoops. Oh, okay. You want to fight? Well then, I've just managed to capture a beast. Here we go. It's been scanned. Alright. Can we loot something? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so now that has just happened, so running at around mid 40s FPS. Let's enable FSR2 because AMD's technology seems to work, even on non-AMD GPU. So that's a pretty nice feature to have. Let's enable it and just see what kind of performance we get in terms of the actual Ultra preset. So this is what's added to the spec by default, and as you can see here, the FSR2 does not actually work on the NVIDIA RTX 4080, which is a bummer. I do hope that very soon they do add DLSS 3 support to this game because NVIDIA GPUs are still by far the most prevalent in laptops. So it's a shame not to have that in this game out of the box. But let's see here. We'll drop down to high and we'll turn FSR off since we no longer have an AMD GPU. And now once you drop it to high, you should be able to get in the low to mid 50s, maybe on occasion touching 60 FPS, or on occasion dropping below 50 FPS. It all depends on, of course, how much you're running, how much you're moving, what's happening on the screen. It's very highly dependent, but this seems to be the level of performance that you can first expect. If we drop down here into medium, turn off FSR2, and as we run around, it should hit close to that 60 FPS mark now. Yes, so medium settings, it still looks acceptable. Textures don't look too, archaic in terms of being from the mid-2000s or early 2010s in terms of the performance and the visual fidelity. It's still very playable, a nice looking game. I think medium to high is actually a very good compromise on this game if you want to get that 60 FPS lock. Of course, it does have that dynamic scaling, but without DLSS 3 and frame generation, you're not going to be able to hit those triple digits, particularly on the 4080 mobile laptop. And as you can see here in this laptop, we're only hitting about 130 watts of performance. I'll be talking much more about that in my performance review when I do the full review of this laptop coming very soon. So stay subscribed for that and stay tuned, coming soon. And now we'll do the last test here. We'll drop this down into low settings, all the way down to low. And at this point, visual fidelity significantly takes a hit. I can look at the textures and it's very visible that your fidelity has dropped. Even the ship looks a little muddy. The textures aren't quite as fluid. But as you can see here, our frame rate has really jumped. So we're nearly hitting triple digits now. I'm sure in certain areas it will hit triple digits, but 90 FPS going from 40 on ultra settings is a significant impact. However, if you have a G-Sync display as the one is that's in this device, there's no issue with playing at high settings. That's where I've been playing, and getting right around 50 to mid 50 FPS. And I think the game looks absolutely fantastic. There's no reason to jump all the way. Let's turn FSR off here. There's no need to jump all the way up to ultra settings unless, of course, you're packing a beefy GPU, maybe a 4090 perhaps. I'll be testing that soon, so stay tuned and get subscribed for that as well. But yeah, mid 40s to 50-ish approximately FPS. But with the G-Sync display, everything's buttery smooth. There's no screen tearing. There's no juddering, any visual artifacting of any kind. Of course, despite being the TrueHDR display in this laptop being the highlight of the show on the Predator Helios 18, this game does not support HDR out of the box. So that's quite unfortunate and a little sad, but I will be touching on the HDR capability and HDR gaming in the review, as well as a separate dedicated video I think that I should make about what HDR gaming is like in late 2023. So that's been just a little bit of an overview of Starfield and this Predator Helios 18 powered by the RTX 4080. As you can see, 130 watts seems to be the name of the game here, especially in this game. And if I'll just pop out quickly here to my Predator Sense, we'll look at it and I'll show you here that I'm operating in the turbo mode, which is the highest gaming profile in this particular laptop. You can see we're running well into the 70s there, and if we look particularly at the fan speeds, it's of course dropped down now, but it runs very, very high, above 5,000 RPS most of the time, sometimes even hitting close to 6,000 RPS. It's very loud, but the fans do ramp up quickly and ramp down quickly, so at least that's a benefit to start getting that performance right out of the gate there. Okay, so that'll wrap it up. Just a quick overview of the Helios Predator 18. Stay tuned for the full review. Get subscribed for that. Please like my content and share it across your social media channels if you enjoyed this content, so I can continue to grow and bring you more content like this. And see you in the next one.